Howdy, Beeflopard here, and welcome back. The ugly city. If we look at our ugly city with our ugly modular buildings and just terrible, 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 terrible. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab all of my bots and let's this is 0, 0. Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to like that. They're all piled on top of each other. And I'm just going to grab them, bring them up over here, and one at a time I'll just start separating them. Just because I want to get them out of the way, because I'm going to go ahead and rip out what I've got in here for a city, and we're going to start from pretty much from scratch. But what I've done is I've added in another asset pack, and holy crap, don't we have enough? Well, yes and no. This is another asset pack that's free from the UE4 Marketplace, and it's going to tack on another 800 megabytes of space for the actual the files itself. Now, of course, not all of that's going to go into your project, simply because pretty much the only thing that's going to be packaged up with your project is going to be just the files required for actually the game itself. So like all the extra materials you're not using, all the extra meshes you're not using, they're not getting packaged up. They're not going to get used unless you're actually using them. And the only reason why I'm setting these guys here in such a manner is because, well, I want to get them out of the way, and my OCDs are not going to let me just leave them where they are, because, you know, they're going to be in the way, because I'm going to rip out all the buildings and I'm going to put some new buildings in here. I'm going to keep the same footprint for the city. Yeah, it's not going to change, but I'm going to get rid of all these ugly buildings. So there we go. Bots are happy. They're out of the wrecking ball here, and I'm going to leave the player start where it is. But yeah, all the buildings, bye bye. Yep, rebuild your navigation. It's not going to matter. And let's go ahead and build lighting so we can get rid of these shadows. And while it's doing that, the PolyPixel Freebie Pack. Now, keep in mind, it's going to say no compatible engine installed, and it's because it's supported up to version 4.17. However, if you choose to add it to a project and you see, oh well, crap, there's nothing else there, show all compatible projects, pick the one you want to add. You want to add it to. Select it, and you'll see asset not compatible with version 420. Please select the closest alternative version. Click here and select 417 and add the project, and it will work. I don't know, because I've got it in this project already. So, okay, our city is clean and clear. Nothing here. Blank. Let's go ahead and save all. Oh, okie doke. So we've already got the watermill in here. That was 400 megabytes, but I like the stuff in there, and we're probably going to use some of that stuff. If not, then I'll just dump it. The freebie pack. You've got some blueprints. Okay, cool. Might use them, might not use them. Don't know. Brush meshes. Okay, this is going to be a handy thing to have here, because when you're laying out your footprints and so forth, I will drag these in here and show you what I mean before we get started. And it's been a while since I've actually used this, so I just drag a static mesh into the scene. I haven't done any of the shaders or anything right now, so it may hang up right now. Yay. But they're scalable You can see as I'm moving around here, you can see that the material is applying and scales. Okay, this is the footprint for one of the buildings, like the first floor. And I'm gonna leave this. I don't want to leave it there. It'll bug me. 0 and 0. Gonna end up moving it, but for now we're at 0, 0, 0, and we can always move our player start. So again, I'm gonna grab these things. It's not gonna affect them, but I'm gonna shove them underneath the ground just so I don't have to look at them. So now we got this right here, which is our ground floor. And if you look at your meshes, in here you've got fire hydrant, bus stop, windows, newspaper box, manhole covers, sewer grates, interior corner, interior walls, awnings, modular building pieces. Okay, so modular bottom and let's see here, modular level or building level, modular bottom. If we grab this and throw it in here, again, it's going to pause because, well, I haven't done the shaders, so the first time you drag them in here, it's going to take a little while. Plus, you have the individual pieces parts, like if you want to put a corner piece in, a window piece in, things of that nature. And you got the building floor and building floor corner, also important to remember. So this is going to be the footprint of one of the buildings, and we're going to put down this modular bottom as soon as it finally decides to show up into the map. Gee, thanks. Alright, so we can see it doesn't match the floor that we've already got down here. Well, that sucks donkey nuts. Why would you do that and have this and have it not match that? And if we tried to scale this, then what happens when we try to scale it? Yeah, it will scale, but you're going to have to fiddle with it to get it just right. And I don't like the way that it's working, because now you're going to have to scale it this way as well. And it's just not going to match up the way that I want it to. So by the time you get it matched up this way, it just doesn't match up right with the corner. So the scaling is off a little bit. So I'm going to dump that. And you've got this building floor. Alright, so we're going to spend another few moments waiting for this one to pop in there. It is kind of annoying waiting for them to pop in here, but you can actually scale these to match correctly. So now, this is actually for the flooring. As you can see, it's double layer. So on this side, you have ceiling tile. On this side, you actually have flooring. And the reason why they have two of them, one is for the corner, one is for the actual floor itself. I'd really rather have an actual floor piece so this doesn't stick to the floor. But we can actually scale this. If we grab this and start to scale it out, see, it's going to scale that way. So I can actually bring it over here, and before we do that, let's go ahead and scale the corner in. Bring that in, and it just fits right there. Where the hell did you go? There you go. So you want to match this one up, and you can get this one pretty good on the corner here. Notice how, as I'm moving it, the actual material is moving. You know, it's pretty good. So that's going to cover the actual corner of this. So we go back over to this guy. Let's drag it over here to the wall where we need it to be. And you'll have to look. The floor itself, you want it to go just to right where it's not sticking through the wall. And again, you're going to want to move it back and do pretty much the same thing. And start to scale. So as you scale these out, the materials scale as well with this. But what you're going to run into is you're going to have a strip that's just not going to fill in. So I wish this was done a little bit differently, but it'll get the job done. So look, make sure you're not sticking to the wall. And let's scale it a little bit more this way. And we're overlapping just a hair. Let's actually make sure our scale is set to 0.25. Let's bring it to 0.5. Here. Actually 0.125. There we go. It's pretty close. Really want that to scale up to where it's just about there. So 125 is not enough, and 25 is too much. So 22.2. Let's try. Come on. That looks good. Alright, so this is where it's going to be fun. Is for right now, we're only going to do the bottom floor. Let's do building floor. And again, we want to make sure we line this up with this. This is at an elevation of 5, so let's make sure we do the same thing. And make sure it's smooth up against there. That looks good. So now, when we start scaling, it's going to scale that way. So let's go ahead and move it up against here. So I like the fact that the material scale so let's go ahead and scale it up forward. Scale it out this way, and we should be good to go. Actually, if we look at it, this is 23.5, and that should be almost the same. So want to make sure it goes all the way into the corner and underneath the wall. So that's that on the first floor. However, I would like to keep all these together. So right now, if we hit play, our player character is right here inside the building, but not bad. We haven't built lighting. Once we build lighting, it'll smooth out the textures here, hopefully. But as you can see, no collisions. So that becomes a problem. Why can't things be easy? Nothing can be easy. So bring in this. This is a modular corner. Yes, please take 5 days, because that's what I want you to do. Take forever. This is a mid floor. So it's not even what I'd want right now anyway. I mean, you could apply a blocking volume on, and you're going to have that in the way, but you would think that they would actually include collisions. So we don't need collisions for the upper floors. We're not going to put stairs in because we don't have any stairs. So first floors, another thing is the windows are pieced together with it. And if I come over here, and you can change the materials on it, so that's good. If I select block all dynamic, does that do anything? Not a thing, because there's no collisions on it. Oh, happy days. So what I'll do is I'll actually build out this section, but let's go ahead and grab these pieces. We've got the 4 pieces that make up this floor. I'm going to move them out of the way for now. Come back to those in just a minute. And to keep them secure, I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder for first floor. I'm just going to shove those in there. I will come back to that. The rest of the stuff, I'll poly everything into the buildings. But since we actually have sidewalk sections and let's see, where are you? Sidewalk corner and sidewalk straight. So I'm actually going to lay out my streets first. And again, the first time you drag these in, you're going to have a little bit of a wait. Collision primes 0. Delightful. I forgot that none of these actually had collisions to them. And the pivots are wrong, so when you place them, they're going to... Because my floor is actually at 0. So when I place this in here, it's actually going to sit on 0. And, yeah, you're going to have to raise it up by 10. So let's zero this out. I'll leave it at 10. So 0, 0, 0, as you can see, is right there. And betwixt that corner. And it is 100, 200, 300 this way. Actually, it's 290, which is kind of lame also. So if we want to move this over, we can move this over to 290. And actually, it's not going to be 290. It's going to be 400 for this location, because naturally you're not in the right position either. I love whenever those are wrong. So if we want to look at it as getting a symmetrical road intersection so that we can actually set up our buildings and rotate them around, what you kind of need to do is build your first setup. So if I grab these guys, and if this is where I want it, and that's not where I do want it, but we're at 400, think about how wide you want your street to be, and show this in another video, setting up a template. So we're looking at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So this is roughly 1,000 wide for our streets, and I think that would be wide enough. So what I'll do is I'll create a geometry, and I'm going to make this, since it's 10 over right there, just because that will annoy me. If I put this right on the line, I can kind of make do. I guess I can live with my OCDs on that. So we'll make this. We'll just go ahead and make this 1,000 by 1,000 and use this for a single tool for our road measure for our intersections. And I kind of want this one to be 0, and then I'll build everything around it. So this will be the absolute center. In fact, let's go ahead and redo it. because I want a material on there so I can see it. So I'm going to go to my starter content and materials, and I'm just going to pick a dark color so it'll stand out, and I guess basic floor is good. So I'll drop that in here, and I'm going to zero this out, 0, 0, and God, I hate the lighting when you're in this freaking editor. Not dark enough. Let's try rust. Yes, I know. I'm being a royal pain in the ass. 0 and 0. Then we'll make this 1000 by 1000. We'll leave it at 200 high. Now, since we know that the center of this block is going to be 1000 by 1000, I want to go ahead and line this up to the edge of that block this way, and then I'll line this up that way. Yes, it matters that much to me. So I'll Control C and Control V, grab another one, rotate it, and do the same thing. It should be lined up perfectly that way, so we just need to line it up perfectly this way. And that is the width of my road. So that side of the intersection is done, so I can actually grab both of them, Control C, Control V, and rotate them. Line them up this way. And then slide them over here and rotate it this way, or line it up this way. And that's going to be the foundation of the corner of my city. And I will close off a building this way, and then I will take the same building that I construct here for the base floor. I will get this in location. I will flip it around, put one and copy it, put it here, here, and here. So I'll have the first floor of all of those at the same time. So now I can grab the first floor that I started on and line it up. Something to keep in mind is kind of want to get the corner right, but then overlap it as you need to. So to there, and then bring it over and to there. Have to take a look at it. I think I can see through that corner. So I need to bring this over one more notch. Now let's take a look at it. And it's because now my player is inside of something. Yay. He's inside there. Not bad. So that's the cornerstone of making this part of the city. I'll lay out the sidewalk pieces going over to here and a corner piece on the other end. So grab this, and line it up. I want to make sure that I've got it lined up this way, so as I'm putting in my corner pieces, or my side pieces, they will line up just right. That should be good, but I'll go ahead and I'll put my pieces down, and I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me do the entire freaking map. Just wanted you to see what was in here. Don't need starter content. I need these guys. Sidewalk straight. Just want to get this started, and then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll make my city. If you guys are following along with this project and doing your own version, yep, take your time, make it look right, So now I should be able to have the correct length here. Control C and Control V. Paste another one in, line it up. And it overlaps. I got those at 10, so yeah. And it's overlapping. Delightful. And all I'm going to do is just reverse that. Realign it to this. And then slide it in position. Put a couple more sidewalk pieces in and I'm good enough. I'll just sit here and do this all the way around. You can see this is square, so you're going to have to let it overlap. And pray that it doesn't do that. So it's at 10 high. If I lower it down to 5, it goes to the ground. So one problem after another. So I will grab my other stuff. They were at 5, so bring that up. And grab these pieces here. Change that to 11. Should get rid of it, and there it is. What I gotta do is just grab a couple sidewalk pieces, fill in here, and then I'll start populating the rest of the city. But as you can see, it's not going to be symmetrical because now I'm not going to be able to get another full building over on this side or this way, so I'll have to come up with custom buildings on these. But I'll make it work. And then for the rest of it, I'll just grab a cobblestone and I'm not going to put the material down until I'm done with everything else, because I like having the tiles here so that I can see what I'm doing. So let's take a look at it. And I'll have to fix the collision on this as well, because we don't want our player to be able to walk right through the freaking wall. So whether I put a blocking volume here or do the unthinkable, either way, I'm going to fix the collisions on it and make it work. So, like I said, I'm sure you guys don't want to sit here and watch me do this all night long. I don't know, you might. It's about as much fun as watching paint dry. So that is going to overlap one way or the other. Sucks, but I can't avoid it. Hey, when you're working with free stuff, you know, you gotta take what you can get. So I'll use this as my basic template, and I'll just do a lot of copy and paste and get the first floor done. Actually coming through and do the second floor. Might just do like 2-3 story buildings, nothing crazy, because you're not going to be able to see or get into the second and third floors, unlike with the other stuff that I had, those lovely buildings that I was using actually had stairwells. So as crappy as they were a little bit more functional than these are. But so now we got our sidewalks all the way around. I'm going to go ahead and save everything, do a lighting build, and get back to work, and I'll populate the rest of the city out, and we'll have a new town to work with. Again, this is the PolyPixel Freebie Pack from the UE4 Marketplace. They have other stuff available on their website, really nice stuff. But this is free, so I'm trying to keep everything free in this asset, or in this project. So if I can find a character with a set of arms that I can use, that's quick and easy to use for this, I will change out the characters. But until I find a first-person set of arms that are free, then I'll stick with this. And if by some chance I want to change over to Cindy Studios, I've already started messing with another project, just testing it. I've got a set of arms that were taken from one of the sci-fi characters, and I can redo this whole project as sci-fi, rip out the starter content, rip out the watermill, rip out this pack, and reduce the file size greatly. So now that I got this base going, I said I'll go ahead, and you've got modular mid-level, but since we've got these floor pieces, floor, and floor, Control C, Control V, and raise them up. So I just want to make sure that I have them sized correctly, because if they overlap here or don't overlap enough, like this one is not overlapping enough, I can make my adjustments now. So I'm actually inside. I look inside, and we now have ceiling tile and no light leaks. Everything looks good. Yay, and there was much rejoicing. So that's the first floor done, and I will probably just copy and paste this setup and delete this and this and this, and just copy and paste this first floor. And while I've got my intersection divider, I may actually shove it over so that I can maybe put 3 rows of buildings, because looking at this footprint here, I could do the same thing I did before. Go to my materials, pick out a material, doesn't matter, whatever, and create a geometry, scale it up to dimensions of this, and use this as kind of a sizing tool. I know that I can then push this over to here, maybe put a little bit of a gap, like 300 gap, because our sidewalks are 1, 2, 3, almost 4, so I don't want a 400 gap. So at least have the sidewalk, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. So actually put the edge of a building there. Got 1,000 gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn, that was good. And then Control C, Control V, put another one in here, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, I can kind of split it up here. And probably do it this way, to where I've got a center row of buildings going here, a row going here, and a row going here. So using the sizing tool, I can then kind of judge how far I need to go and where I need to place the buildings and that kind of stuff. So using BSP geometries is a good way of making sizing tools. I do it for players, I do it for hallways, do it for streets, I do it for building sizes, things of that nature. So that's what I'm going to do for here. Is I'm going to go ahead and use this as my sizing info and line up the first floor system that I've got now, and I can actually grab all my sidewalk pieces. Fuck's sake, close that damn thing down. Move all this into here, and this is all my first floor, so now I can just grab all of these, and that's that. I can move, I can copy and paste, I can do whatever I need to do, and for this case I can just go ahead and line this up. And it's not bad. Move it a little bit more. So this is the corner of my building, so I'd probably want to go ahead and copy and paste. Let's actually undo and undo so that I have one section of it. Grab these guys, put them in map stuff. I'm going to create another folder. Since this is my first floor stuff, actually I can save it into buildings. So yeah, that'll work. So I can Control C and Control V, and since I have this selected, I can go ahead and move to buildings, and it doesn't screw with what I have now. So now I'll just go ahead and rotate 90 degrees and realign it, and that's good. Again, I want to make sure that I'm lined up with this corner. I still have this open area over here. I'll probably end up moving them around a little bit more, but this is just going to get me the footprint that I need to work with. And like I said, my bots, I can move them wherever I need them to go. I might push them all the way up against the wall. I might move the buildings over. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I want to thank everybody for watching, and check back with me. If you want to do this, go right ahead. If you want to wait and get the playable version whenever I get done with this, go right ahead. If you want to make a donation of at least $20, then I will give you the files and let you, screw around with it all you want to. So, won't make you sit here and watch this. So, check back with me on Discord, and I'll let you know how it's going. I may stream again later, may not. So, thanks for watching, and we will see you.